Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It's Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Welcome, everybody. We're doing this intraday about 1:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It's 99 cents a month. Comes with the Discord. And we talked all kinds of things in the Discord today. I've been busy making videos for a different membership, and it's just really cranking out what's happening here. And although we've surpassed my fib resistances, we have two things obviously it's always two things, the bulls and the bears. We're either here's what the video is in a nutshell. We're either nesting here, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and we're really starting to stretch into wave 3, 4, 5. We're going to parabolic, and I'll show you exactly where those levels are above if that's the case. And then otherwise, where momentum, we're having this crossing over of waves because it's an ending diagonal, and we're losing momentum, and that should terminate here pretty soon, and I have that count too. So where I think we are, obviously, I've been bearish, and this is the end of a move. I think we're here. Look at that nice straight line here for wave 3. So I think this was an ending diagonal. 3 wave for 1, 3 wave for 2, 3 wave for 3, 4, and 5, where you just eked out a new high here. Okay, so I think that's the same situation that we're in right now, and I think this is exactly right here, wherever this is going to end. We do have some time and price coming into play tomorrow and next Tuesday, so I'm looking for some sort of reversal, whether that's lower or higher, depending on if we get a pullback. So maybe we pull back tomorrow, and then we go for a peak onto Tuesday for a new peak. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at in a nutshell. Again, if you're bullish and you've been bullish, nothing's changed. This just continues to pull away from this 8 EMA. It looks really bullish right here. And does this continue for a parabolic ending here? That's quite possible. Again, that'll be a 1-2-1-2, and nothing says otherwise using the trend itself. All right, we're going to zoom through this really quick here. Moving averages, those are bullish. Here's the McClellan oscillator. Let's put on our... So this is starting to go up higher. Do we get into the overbought territory? Clearly, we're seeing across the board some bullishness today. Okay, now we're coming into that resistance here. Is that coming into play? We shall see. We're getting really close to that diagonal. I don't think this is the actual diagonal that is in play here, where this would be a wave 1. So you want to see wave 3 end at it. So if it is a coincidence that we just have these 2 points here, and it actually resolves tomorrow into this trend line here, then that does come into play with the wave 1 into 3. You get a pullback into possibly the trend line here. And on a lower time frame, we're going to draw another trend line from the possible wave 2 to the bottom of wave 4. Okay, so either way, we're forming this wedge, and we'll keep it clean right here on the daily time frame. But I still think we're going to resolve in a lower high there. And this was breaking out from here. We talked about that yesterday. We still have a 3 peak. Now this gets above here, and then all we're talking about is a divergence, which I think we might be doing. Just a negative divergence right here to here. Okay, so we broke out here. You see the price actually moving higher. We just have 2 divergences at this point. DMARC. Oh, we're going to want to see... We're going to want to see this roll over here. I think when that rolls over, this move will be done. Okay, so looking at the DMARC, the timing is starting to line up here. So again, we're at a 6 count. The 9 count is going to be on Tuesday. And for NDX, it's going to be on Wednesday, which is FOMC. Plus, we're gonna have a wild week with the triple witching. So the contract rolls and everything there as well. So that timing's coming up. We're likely to get that 9 count into this zone right here. Okay. So we can start to line that up, and stick around for the VIX, because that's going to line up with the VIX as well. Okay, looking at the money flow index on SPY, we're in that overbought territory. And so with this timing being the way it is, what I think should happen here, this is no longer a divergence. So what should happen here is we get a tiny pullback for a wave 4, and then one more new high, and we should get a little divergence right here. Okay. Bollinger Band, clearly it's a sell signal. We'll probably get that sell tomorrow. But it won't be that sharp of a sell if I am correct. Volume shelf, L8 oscillator starting to pick up here. So this is no longer the peak, obviously, from price action, but getting from wave 3 into 5 is still into play. But again, on the lower time frame, at this point, this is starting to get more bullish. But if this is to fail, we want to see a lower high in any sort of correction here, and that might only reflect on the lower time frame. So we'll definitely check that out. But what's lining up with next week? And I'll show you also on SPY in the 65, the time cluster that I have. So I don't think the low is in here, but we're into that daily timing low window as of today. And so the ideal low is exactly on the 16th, which is Tuesday. So this likely is to go a little bit lower. I don't know if it's going to make a new low or what, but we're looking for that timing window low to come in here, at least another low past this one from yesterday and into Tuesday. We'll see what happens there. And then we'll be looking for another objective short at that point. All right, so really doing nothing right now. Moving averages, we're going to be bearish on those. Yep, so far. Pushing down that 8 EMA, and the trend is still down. And so let's go to SPY in the 65. And I haven't done this in a while, so I'll show you the timing first. So here's your traditional look. Here's the timing we have mapped out. And what we're doing is we're really concentrating on this as being an ending diagonal. And so taking your low here to high, because I think this is possibly the wave 1 there, and the low to low here gives us a cluster tomorrow and on Monday. Now, one thing I did not do, let's see if we can go from high so this is basically how you do it. You go from high, and I'll just keep that a little bit lower there, but you're looking at this peak here and high to high. That gives us another point here on I can already see. So it adds on to our cluster there for tomorrow. And yep, and on Tuesday, that gives you a lot more confidence when you have clusters going here. And so this may not be done until tomorrow, going into that high, but maybe we get a low or a new high into these clusters. So you want to look to trade off of these clusters or look for a reversal. You don't have to trade off it. We're not going to trade to the downside on this little move here. But looking at the Elliott wave count, so this one could be here, but I think this might be a zigzag for a 1, zigzag for a 2, zigzag for a 3, wherever that ends. It looks like we're flagging, could go a little bit higher into tomorrow. And then a wave 4 which could be a pretty significant move if it crosses over. It's very typical to cross over. It doesn't have to. Wave 1, and then we'll look for a wave 5 after that, a little bit higher. And how you actually draw those in is if you have a wave 1 here, you go from wave 1 to 3, but we know that this might be wave 1 as well. So this is a little bit more shallow, but we'll keep an eye on both of those, because if this is a 1 and then this is actually wave 2 over here, that's fine. Then you have an ABC for wave 3. We'll look for a correction in wave 4, wave 5. Doesn't change a whole bunch on how you look at this here, but what we do know is wave 3, since these lows are so close to each other, it's not going to really matter so much. But after we have our wave 4 in here, then we'll be able to project a 62% extension of wave 3 to get ourselves a last move here. So I'll just put it on for now. Placeholder, probably going to go a little bit higher, but for now, if this was the top, then we're looking for a pullback. Let's say right there, just for example, let's say wave 4 comes all the way back here to cross over wave 1. And then at the top of the trend line, we get that 62% extension there. Okay, so that would be pretty typical for your ending diagonal. And then we'll be able to draw that bottom trend line to wherever that wave 4 ends. All right. And this could be, you can argue that this could be a wave 1 here, and then you get an A expanded B. And so it's a running flat here too. So this can just be a correction itself. This doesn't have to be, this can be wave 1 into wave 2. So many ways you can argue these things, but we'll leave it here, and we'll take that traditional look here. And what you're going to look for, obviously, there's your trend, still green. Trend is up, moving averages, all bullish, everything bullish, right? There's nothing, we want to see this crossover for that correction. We're into the options expected move there. And then in that very near term, we want to see divergences happen after that 4 into 5. So in the near term, there's no divergences. DMARC, 4 count, maybe that goes into a 9 count into tomorrow. And then your flow here. So with another move up higher, are we diverging? What's happening here? We'll see. This might just get a higher low into overbought conditions. But in this near term, because we did correct yesterday as well, but in the very near term, we want to see another one. Okay. After this is all said and done, pull back, we want to get a lower high and then a higher high. Bollinger Band, sell signal. We could sell from this point. Maybe we grind up a little bit higher and then sell off. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that wave 1 here, which is where our resistance was, and now it's going to act as support. So I want to see that come to maybe the middle of the week here, where the week started, or the support. I want to see this hold and go up one more after that. Okay, volume shelf. Here's the oscillator. It made a new high here. And so in this near term, again, same thing. We want to see it correct and make a lower high into this move here. Okay, so the VIX, there's a gap just a little bit lower, and that's likely to close at this point. Again, I don't know if we're going to get a higher low or lower low. It's likely to make a new low here. If things can move along and into that cycle low on Tuesday, we could get a new low there, and that would make sense to me. But definitely going to close the gap. I think we're going to come down for that gap right now, and then we'll look for some sort of wedge at that point. We'll have these downtrend lines, and this will no longer be that sort of move. We'll probably have this low here connect with some sort of low here as well. So we'll keep this anticipation for a wedge here, and then we'll go from there. All right. I still think we have higher prices now. The market showed us that it wants a new leg up, and I think it's going to happen. So again, I almost forgot to put this on there. If you are more bullish and you think the market's going to continue higher, and I don't blame you for that, here's what's happening. We're at our target here, and we're actually getting above it. So what we want to see is price action hold, not fail here. You want to see it hold. First of all, that would go right along with us crossing over that wave one, and then go higher. But eventually, I think it should fail, and then we'll still keep an eye out for a larger correction to come. But if it's going to continue to move higher, that next 162 extension, along with some targets, other targets there. Let's see, this one is not valid. So you have a little bit of confluence there. That's all the way up right near 700. And so that's your next macro stop there. And then there's even levels above there that take you to 750, depending on if we get a correction or not. So, which we inevitably, as part of the market, will get a correction. But yeah, I think that's about it, you guys. Here's where I was looking for the market to stop. This is my zone. It is past there. So obviously the market's stronger. It doesn't look like there's anything that's stopping it. But let's see if the bearish scenario plays out or the bullish plays out past this here. Are we overthrowing it? And then we'll see like a monthly rejection off of this. It doesn't have to be a weekly. Do we see a monthly rejection off of this in a big wick? That could be, and that would satisfy this being rejected for me. I have no evidence of that yet, and so let's see how this plays out. All right, so we will do MJ still barely holding on. M sauce. TLT is still moving. TLT is getting some big moves here, and I believe it's breaking the downtrend. Yep, so watch out for that. Looking for recession if this continues to move higher. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you in the Discord.